Still getting some things set up. Be 1 second. Okay, there's that. Let me go grab the charger now. What's up, everybody? All right, grab the chair now. Alright, got my chair, got my charger. Get her all plugged in. We'll get this show on the road, everybody. What's up, Barney Rubble? Needing to be crushed. Not that one. Oh, man. It's nice, but I tell you what, I wouldn't pay full price for one. I mean, torque-wise, it's fun. I mean, anything that's torquey is fun. But, I do have some gripes about it. And this is only for the people who, you know, paid full price for one of them bastards. I feel so bad for them. Because there's just some things that you would expect out of a $30,000 bike. You know? Which is what they were back in 2020. Should be really good now. Alright, so we got charge. Yep. Let's see, drop this brightness down quite a bit. And yep, there we go. But yeah, I feel bad for anybody that pays full price. That's like one thing I have a gripe about is the charger where they store it under the seat. It's gotta be the dumbest system they got. They don't just have like a normal reel. You gotta snake it through a bunch of shit. On top of that, you would think with something that's 30 grand back when they were, this one right here would have been 22 grand. But still, tax, title, and license out the door is 25 grand for a bike. It's too much. But anyhow, what's up, Aaron? Yeah, but it should have like a rechargeable, like a retractable cable or something like that. You just run up, plug it straight in the wall. You shouldn't have to fumble with a cable, wrapping that shit up underneath the seat. Just weird shit like that, and it's not waterproof under the seat. That shit's wide open. When the seat closes, there's no seal or nothing. So yeah, I got the bike at a good deal to where it was worth it for me as far as the batteries and the motor and the performance I get out of it. That part's fine. But it's small little pet peeve ass things like that that just get on my nerves. Oh, I think he was alright. No, Barney was cool, dude. He's good. Let's see. I know a lot of people they don't like the live wires, but man, if you can get it cheap, it's worth it. And like I said, if you pay full price, I feel bad for you because the second you drive off that lot, and this is like EV bikes are the ones that do it. The second you drive off that lot, it loses like 50% of its value, and that's nuts. So I would not I would just brand new. And I heard just recently that LiveWire, all their unsold 2022 units and all that, they dropped them down to 15 grand. Now that comes with a 5-year warranty. For the type of bike it is, okay, I'll give you that. 15 grand, that's a little bit more manageable to a point. Still high, but doable, payments wise. Let's see. You fart. No sir, Tucker, I could not. Let's see, Ripper MX, what's up, buddy? I'm a biker, but I ride the KLX 125. Hey, a KLX 125. I've sat on one of those. I know where right now because we were the ones building it. It's sitting inside the shop over there at work. It's just when we get shits and giggles and it's slow, That's when we do this. But it's a TTR 90. No, TTR 50. My bad. TTR 50. We stuffed a 125 on it. No shit. It's like all motor. Tiny ass little bike. Anyhow, with the gear ratio it's got, it's stupid. It's just stupid fast. From the calculations on it. But you ain't gonna have shit for torque. If you can get it up to speed. I mean, I wouldn't want to go that fast on a TTR 50. But 245 horsepower, 17,500 RPM. Holy shit. Let's see. That's a LiveWire one. Let's see. Might go 5,000, but that would be for just for giggles. Runs 213 miles an hour. Hold up. Oh, Ducati. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Ducatis are something, dude. Richard, what's up? No way. Hello from Netherlands. Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, Steven, if he pops in here, he's originally from the Netherlands. He lives in Florida now. Oh yeah, I'll get over there and rev her. No, you don't rev these bikes. I do wish they would have kept a clutch, because you can do some hooligan shit with a clutch. You can still kind of do it without it, but yeah. It would be nice to actually be able to rev an electric motor like that. Just hear that whine up, you know? But I guess I can see why, because if you lock that motherfucker up and it's... you'd lose it. It would set your ass down on the ground right there. It's electric. All electric. Let's see, are you familiar with sine cycles over in your part of the world? No? I don't think I've heard of the sine ones. I've been keeping up with a little company called, shit, what the hell, I done forgot the name. It shows you how much I've been keeping up with them. But no, they were interesting. They're out of California. They're, golly, what's that company called? I talked about them before on here. So, I guess hell, the name escapes me right now. I'll remember it, you know, shit, after I get off of here. But they've come up. Golly, what were they called? They had they have a road model, they have like an on-road model, and they have now an off-road model. The Anthem, the Rivet Anthem. Now that company, I like their direction, because right out the gate they made a bike. Now again, it's still just like a hair bit too high, but they are going in the right direction. So I give them that. So I mean, I think the starting price for one of them is like $6,000, dollars, and the starting price for their road model is like around 7 or 8, and it's actually fairly decent for what you get, And the battery pack is removable, which is interesting, because that gives you options for in the future. You want to upgrade battery packs. Let's say that whole deal with Samsung goes down. They're claiming 2027 they're going to roll it out, but I don't know. A lot of shit going on with that. But I see solid state batteries come up. I know everybody's been talking about them for 20 years, but evidently they've done it. So if you get solid state batteries, it's like this right here. It's got Samsung batteries. I mean, I imagine that's going to be along one of the, like that type of battery they're going to do solid state. That'd be nice. Yeah, Rivet Anthem is what they're called. And you ain't got to deal with no dealership or nothing. You deal with them directly, and that bike will ship to your front door. It's made right here in the U.S. No shit. So that's actually kind of a awesome little thing, I guess. Let's see, Electric Harley. See, this was right when they did the split. So technically, yeah, it's still got the dealership network, so I like that. But this is the only bike that allows DC fast charging. Everybody else doesn't. Let's see. Looks like a 50 kilowatt 72 Ridge 2.0 Rivet. Yep. But yeah, dude, I was following with them before I ever got an electric bike. Because I've ridden a lot of bikes, dude. I'm talking just a lot of bikes. And then I got into the off-road phase. Just doing dual sports and all that. And I still got a dual sport. I got a CRF 300L. But I traded my KLR 650 for this one. And this is my first ever electric bike. I like the performance, don't get me wrong. But I do have some gripes about the price. And I do have some gripes about the, just the shit you get. Like the pet peeve shit. You would think for 30 grand you'd have or at least 25 grand. Let's say just tax title out the door, the whole nine. Let's say for 25, 26 grand. You would expect a cord, like you just walk up, grab a 110 cord, and just roll it out and boom, plug it in, roll it back in. You would think you'd have some type of system like that, but it don't. Battery lifetime. So this is what I go by. If you just go by what's online, you'll be like, oh shit, they don't last 5 years. Well, it's the warranty. But there are people that have over 20 to 30,000 miles on these things already. And they've had them for well over 6 years, and they're still going strong. They haven't degraded none or anything. And I think a lot of that has to do because this is the only bike out of all of them, and even the new LiveWires don't even have this type of cooling. This battery is actively cooled. The motor's cooled. So even when you're charging, it's cooling, you know? And that's not really any of the other ones do that. So that really helps the battery life out big time. And as long as you don't go all the way down to 0 and then keep it there, shit, you should be all right. Even if it degrades to a point to where I only have 80 miles, you know, like just straight 80 miles. Like right now, the only reason it's got 86 miles is what I'm averaging is because my ass can't stay out of it. You know, if I would just ride it like I do my KLR or like I do anything else, it's just when you got the power, you're going to use it. I mean, fuck it, you're just going to use it, you know? 0 to 60 and 3.3 on the stats, but with a bigger fella, probably around 3.5, 3.6. Let's see. It looks like a modern M109R. Yeah, it kind of does, yeah. I like how, now I do like the look of it, don't get me wrong, the look of it kind of works. I mean, it looks good. I mean, it ain't no kind of works. It just looks good. It does turn heads. At least there's that. Because there is like a lot of people are curious about them, you know. And they'll ask you all kinds of questions when you're out riding. But it does have a sound. It's not like it don't have a sound. So it sounds like almost like a turbine in a way when you're taking off. And then sometimes if you like get on it real hard, you know, it'll sound like the Jetsons, you know, in a way. Or like a land speeder off of Star Wars. Just it has its own sound. Looks like the let's see, that's fast, but oh no, KLR ain't fast as shit. I'm talking about dude, the KLR, but it takes a licking though. I know that for a fact. I hit a deer. For anybody that's new, I hit a deer over there in the Ozarks, and it was on 11% grade. The only straightaway in those mountains, by the way. But gravity was not in my favor. But I sure did. Smacked it around 55, 60-ish miles an hour. I didn't have time to brake. He popped out that fast. But, yeah, dude. Knocked me down. I was able to kick away from the bike before it started tumbling. But, yeah. We straightened shit back out. You know, I rode 3.5, almost 4 hours back home. I made one pit stop on the way back. There was like because out there in the mountains, like, you're far away from shit, you know. Stops at this like little, it would be a gas station if it had gas, but it was like just a little convenience store, I guess, you know. But it was almost like a gas station, how it was set up inside. But I asked them, I said, hey, do you got a first aid kit? They did, and they had the most beautiful shit in there, iodine. So I went and picked all the gravel out, cleaned it up in the sink, and then poured iodine and wrapped it up, and I was able to make it the rest of the way home. But yeah, I had some rash and shit, you know, typical shit when you slide. But yeah, dude, KLRs are tough, but it ain't got nowhere near the power of this at all. Let's see. Do you get that adrenaline like a? Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. The torque is amazing, and the torque is all over. That's the wildest part about it. It's from 0 to all the way up to where they limit it at, which is 115. It don't matter where you get on it, it's pulling, you know, hard. It's pretty cool, dude. I like it for that aspect. Now, would I go touring on it or do it? Obviously not. Now, if solid-state batteries become a thing, that's what I'm interested in. Because if that becomes a thing, it'll do everything a regular bike does, including even when you go to refill it, quote-unquote refill it. I mean, if what they're claiming is true on that darn with Samsung and Toyota, when they go to release that car in 2027, I imagine there's going to be pushbacks. I want to see the charging infrastructure that's going to handle that, because this is the part I'm having trouble with. Solid state batteries, I don't have a problem believing the range on those. It's the charging it that I'm curious about. They claimed, and this is Samsung and Toyota that claim this, that they can get 750 miles. Now, let's say, okay, you're not going to get 750 miles. They always kind of overshoot that because it's in a proper setting, or they're just doing the quick math on it, you know. Real world, if it's 600 miles, that's freaking impressive. Even if it's not 750, let's say it's 600 miles, they're claiming a 10-minute charge with 750 miles of range. That's crazy, you know? That's nuts. But again, how are you going to cram that amount of energy into something in 10 minutes? I understand they do it with these. It's 30 minutes from like what 0 to 80, I think, or 40 minutes from 0 to 80 on these with a DC fast charge. But that's a way smaller battery than a car. Way smaller battery. Let's see. Beautiful bike. What's the charging time? Charging time. So if you're like low, like when I first brought it home, I run it all the way down to 7%. I was out here playing on it the whole time. And by the way, it has full power. It don't like, you know how those shitty mopeds or those little scooters, electric scooters you had back in the day where you'd spend 8 hours charging that damn thing or 9 hours charging it, and you could ride it for like 15 minutes. Nothing like that. Because like the first 5 minutes it rides good, and then like the rest it's just sluggish and slow. Not these, dude. You can run these damn things down to 0, and it will still have full power until you're out. I'm talking wheelie power. Play around popping wheelies and shit. It just has that full power until it's out. So I mean, but as far as charge time goes, getting back on topic, when I first brought it home, it had 7% on it. I rode all the way from the Mississippi line all the way home. And I was not being a tree hugger bug lover on the way back. I was getting it. Anyhow, it had, what was it, like 11 hours off the wall from 7% to full is what showed the estimated time, which by that morning, obviously, it was done. But on average, when I'm out riding, I'll go out for like a 2 to 3 hour ride in the morning, come back. It'll charge like 6 hours, to get back up to 100. I'll go back out that evening for a ride, 2 or 3 hours, come back, and then of course it's ready for work. But when I'm going to work, shit, it don't even take no time to charge back, because I mean just going to work and back, shit, probably 4 hours, 4 hours, and that's me playing all the way to work and back, so it's not too bad. What's up, Rocky? Nice. Can you show more? Be cool with less lights. What is this Samsung bike? It's a LiveWire 1, but it's got Samsung batteries. Horsepower over 100. Or it's around 100. I think it's 100 even. Let's see. That's a Nightster from Harley. It's a LiveWire. But yeah, it's got 100 horsepower, but it's 100 electric horsepower. So electric and gas are different on that. Like, you could have a 3 horsepower electric motor that puts out like a shit ton of power, way more, and be equivalent to like a 40 horse motor, gas motor. But this is 100, electric horsepower. What's up, buddy? I hear you. Didn't know that, yeah. Yep. Yeah, electric and gas horsepower are measured differently. I've never looked up the equivalent, though, what it would be equivalent to. But I know with my big ass, it gets me from 0 to 60 fast, It don't take nothing. I hear you. Yeah, what you said. Mm-hmm. What are you doing, out catting around? Anyhow. Yeah, Brembo brakes, yeah. Yeah, it's got dual rotors on the front, single on the back. It's belt drive. Brakes are awesome. I mean, they're Brembos, but they're awesome. Of course, the bike weighs 500 pounds, so... But it's all down low, too, so... To me, it wasn't really nothing too crazy, because I had a KLR, which is 450, 60 pounds, something like that, 460 pounds, roughly. And it's all up high. So, to me, I didn't really feel a difference. She's heavy. You got to think about that, though. It's 500 pounds, plus my big ass, and it still launches me 0 to 60 in at least 3.5, 3.6 seconds, And if I was a beanpole, if I was a stick, dude, you can get that 3.3 seconds easy, So if you're a light guy, oh, you're really going to feel it then. Wheelies are weird. So I've done a few. And so normally you do foot control, right? But in this one, being that it's got the regen, and I'm gonna tell you, the regen, you don't even got to touch them brakes. Them Brembo brakes, I mean, they're nice and all. You really ain't got to touch them. The regen on this bike is so strong. And I shit you not, I played with this. So when I leave the house, I'll have 100%. I'll make it down the road, and as I'm going down the road, it'll drop down to 99%. I could hit the regen and just let it slow down, way down, like you're hitting the brakes hard. And it would actually come back up to 100%, and I would just feather that and just ride 100% all the way out to like over 2 miles. You know, I'm able to get on that 100%, keeping it at 100. No shit. I just like fucking around with it with that, you know. 120 pounds here. No shit, dude. You can make the 88 miles per hour fast. Hell yeah. Now, if you're a light fella, dude, it's going to be even wilder. Like, it's already wild for me, man. But if you're light, holy shit, it's going to be stupid fun. I figured out the traction control shit. So if you turn the traction control off, that's when you'll be able to do wheelies and shit like that. But traction control is actually pretty good. You'll feel the front wheel try to come up, you know, but it'll set right back down with traction control on. So it actually works pretty good, keeping it planted. But me, personally, I like riding without it. Oh yeah, and about the brakes deal. So the regen is so strong that you really ain't got to touch them. Whenever you go to, if you just like, hey, I'm fixing to come to a stop, and you just let off the throttle and you have your regen set on full, it'll come to a complete stop. It runs regen all the way until 0. You can sit there and hump the bike and give it energy. No shit. You can watch that little regen bar go up. You know, it's got different modes. You can set it on where you can see your throttle and your regen. And you can sit there and roll forward and back, you know, so basically, quote unquote, humping your bike. And you can give it power. So needless to say, it's a skill. Yeah. If you can get your hands on one used, though, I would do it. I got a good deal on this one. I ain't afraid to say it. I got a hell of a deal on this one. It only had 400 miles on it when I got it. Gross, I know. Look, I love my bike, all right? I you know, it is what it is. Transmission? No transmission. It's just it's a motor into like a gearbox, you know, like not really a gearbox, but well, technically, yeah. But at 90, so the motor is forward facing. That one 90s it, and it runs it back. So technically, gearbox, you know. But and it runs that out to this belt drive here, and you can adjust ratios there. I imagine some aftermarket shit will come out on that. What's up, Nate? Yep. And you will catch yourself if you're coming off of a normal bike, man. You'll catch yourself going for that shifter and going for that clutch, but you get over that after a minute. It's gonna be weird going back to my CRF though. I'm waiting to get it, you know, parts replaced on it. Cause I really can't do it. I gotta wait on that problem I had, you know, getting that. I had a squatter issue, but that squatter also damaged my bike. That wasn't fun. But anyhow, heat kills the batteries, right? Yeah, that's why keeping it parked inside probably your best bet. But at the same time, it's kind of scary parking it inside because regardless of what anybody says about lithium, it's still anything can go wrong. If you got something like that burning in your house is coming down. It just is. Ain't no putting water on that. It ain't going out. Yeah, heat kills it, but also the battery. So this is a cool little feature. If the bike is getting hot, it will kick the pumps on regardless. So you can have it off sitting here. If it got to a certain temperature, it would kick on. It's got a complete battery management system on it. So that is nice. And it's all liquid cooled. See, it's got a little radiator on the front right there. It has a little pump. Cools the motor, cools the batteries, the whole nine. So that's pretty cool. But just me personally, I just wish they would have done something like that. You know, at least make it easier. You know, because it sucks when you got to fumble around with a damn cord. Every time you turn around, it's like when you go to click the key, like turn the key on the seat. 9 times out of 10, anything you come across, when it's got like where you turn a key to open a door, it always has like a little spring in it that pops the door out, right? Not on these. You got to use two hands. So sometimes I got my helmet in my other hand, you know, or my gloves or something, and I got to turn around, reach around, and like use my pinky to pick up on the seat just to get it open. And sometimes that hangs up, you know, too. So just little pet peeves like that, you know, like you wouldn't expect out of at the time in 2020 was a $30,000 bike. You know, shit like that just annoys me, you know. But and I really wish they would have done this, and I might do something aftermarket like this, where you can walk up, you got your little, you got your 110 plug on the side. It has like a little reel in there that you could retract it out, you know, and that way, all you gotta do. I wish that would have been built into the bike, you know, to where you ain't got to use it through the cap of the, you know, where the quote unquote tank would be. You could just reel that out, plug it into a wall, and it's good. And then when you're done, you can unplug it from the wall, reel it in. You know, something like that would have been nice. You know, considering, you know, you're always going to be plugging it in wherever you go. So I think that would have just made things a lot easier. But now you got to fumble with a bulky cord underneath the seat. Anyhow, yeah. But that's just, yeah, that's me. As far as the bike goes, though, it's fun. And I'm really looking forward to Samsung dropping them solid-state batteries. And I imagine, being that they made the batteries for this, there would be an upgrade. Now, how much that upgrade is, being a brand new technology, it probably won't happen anytime soon. But if I can get my hands on something and probably build it, oh, hell yeah. And if it can go from having like a 100-mile range to having 200-300 mile range, that would be amazing. The fastest you ever went on a bike? Fastest I've ever been personally is around let's say around 170, 180. Yep. R1. Now I didn't own the bike though. That wasn't mine, but I rode it. It was nice. I was wanting a CBR 1000RR. I was really thinking about it. But while I was there, I happened to cross, and this is when I got my Valkyrie. So I was there to get a Respel Edition CBR 1000, you know, RR. And in the showroom floor, a bike that I'm shocked. I'm still shocked to this day they didn't sell like hotcakes. But it was a 2014 Honda Valkyrie GL 1800C. So it's got the 6-cylinder, obviously. It's a Goldwing type motor, you know. And the bike was it's a muscle bike. It was beautiful, though, man. Those bikes are just gorgeous. And it was a 2014 and a 2016 lineup. I remember that. And they had it marked way down, and then I saw some dents on the tank. And the only reason the dents were there because they were uniform. So it didn't mess with my OCD. And the reason I'm saying that was whoever unloaded this bike off the crate, it was brand spanking new. But whoever unloaded the bike off the crate, the bars, you know, they ship them with the bars all the way down, the whole nine, right? Well, somebody unloaded it off the crate and turned the bars both ways, and it put two little streaks in the tank. Two little small hair thin, like you had to kind of eyeball it to see it under the right light. And there was two little dents, you know, just perfect, you know, next to each other. And, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, dude, they're beautiful bikes, those Red. But anyhow, it was a 2016 model back then that I was going up there to get. I was dead set on it, you know. Anyhow, I ended up getting that one, and they had that bike marked down to 8,000, man. I couldn't beat it. I could not beat it, man. That was a good bike. And I loved it, man. I always said I would never sell that bike, and well, hell, I sold it. Sucks, man, because I really do miss that bike. Because it's a torque monster like this one is, you know, but it was just a hair bit less torquey than this was. This has got it edged out a little bit. But definitely a fun bike, and it was a head turner. That bike I turned more heads with than any other bike I had. This right here kind of like, it's almost to that level, but it's not just there, you know. The Valkyrie, the 2014 Valkyrie, just turned heads everywhere I went. Everybody called it the Bat Bike and shit like that. And I did like a little joke. So I had some chrome badging I put on the side, and it was 4x4 minus 2. And I remember I got into an argument with a guy as Sonic, man. That was so funny. I didn't realize from his point of view, all he saw was the 4x4. He didn't see the -2. But the shit looked like it was meant to be there. The badging, how I had it, because it was chrome badging, you know? And it looked like it was a part of the bike. And he was like, it's a motorcycle. What do you mean 4x4, you know? He was getting so mad. And then I backed up a little bit. Oh, shit. This dude was ready to go. Let's see what year R1. It was the R1. If I remember correctly, that was an 11 model, 12 model, something like that. Let's see. They discontinued the R6, replaced with an R9. Really? No kidding. No kidding. Yeah. Yeah. That sucks. It might be good though. I mean, hell, R9, shit. Yeah, they had a naked bike that was the R9, or it was what was it? What was the Yamaha's version of the naked bikes? You know, because I'm used to the KZ lineup and all that, but or not the KZ, the what do you call it? Oh shit, hell, because I used to want one. Well, no, Yamaha. The MT-07 and the MT-09. Yeah. So it's the same motor as the MT-09, right? Yeah. Right there. Yeah, MT-09 right there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a triple, too. They have a unique sound, a trumpet sound, I want to say. Yeah. And they had that button. I remember on the MT-09, they had they had that... Well, it was like a power adder, I guess. Like a sport mode, quote unquote. But personally, I know the MT-09 is a fun bike. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of fun on those. And they do got the speed. But you cannot beat the sound of an MT-07. The MT-07 just has that freaking awesome twin sound, man. And my favorite one, now this was another dream bike of mine. I still haven't owned it. I have not owned an MT-07 or MT-09. I've always, like I said, I love the style of the bike. But the MT-07 with that blue, this is back in the day now. This is back in 2016. Because I was looking at all these bikes around that time. And the MT-07 had that blue with the blue rims and the blue graphics and all that, man. And I loved that, man. That was a sharp bike. I didn't like the one with the yellow rims and all that, or like whatever they call it, the highlighter light, type look, But I do love the sound of it, and I'll sacrifice horsepower with that sound any day. Because I mean, you're gonna be hearing that more than anything. And like I said, the trumpet sounds good, but that twin just sounds better to me. And you can still do hooligan shit on it, Nothing beats the electric sound. It's different. It is. So you're not missing out on the sound. Everybody always saying, well, you don't hear nothing. You do hear it. Now, after you start going super fast, all you hear is... But, you're having fun while you're doing it, though. Yep. But yeah, dude, now... I had an 1800 Valkyrie. Let's see, my KLR. I've had 2 KLRs. I totaled the first one technically. It had just enough frame bend for them to total it. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it had just enough frame bend for them to total it. So I've had 2 KLR 650s, and that's a great bike. I recommend that for anybody. And I don't expect to be a speed demon, but you can still do hooligan shit with it. You can pop wheelies with it. You can ride a wheelie with a KLR easy. But okay, it needs help a little bit, But once you get there, you get used to it. CRF 300L, I still have that one. That's a straight hooligan bike. Now I don't expect to be. You can travel across country with it. It's a Honda. You can set a quart of oil next to it, and it's just going to last. You ain't even got to put it in the crankcase. Just set it next to it. Just let it see it. That's all that matters. You can cross country on it. You're just not going to do it fast. But where it shines is off-road. It's amazing off-road, dude. And it shocks. Okay, suspension. I take it back. Upgrade the suspension on it. And the KLX 300, I want to say, has it beat on that. The KLX 300, Bill Sport, they have at least a fully adjustable suspension. but on the Honda it does not. But you can make mods to make that better. But it's a Hooligan bike. You can wheelies are for days. Obviously, it's a CRF chassis, 250 type chassis, so you can do some shit with it. Before that, let's see. Of course, I told you about 30 times GL 1800C, the Valkyrie. Before that was a VTX 1300R. I had an 1100. It was an old school, like an 80s model. I have a CB900 84 model, I want to say, if I remember correctly. It's sitting down in the shop right now. It's the 10-speed, quote unquote. It's got a high and low, 5 low, 5 high. It was Honda's over-engineered bike back in the day. It runs, but I gotta go through all the carburetors on it, and if you know, you know. They're a bitch. Anyhow, I had a KZ 500 or 550, KZ 550, I think it was. Yeah, I had one of those. It rode. It was all right, but it wasn't. It didn't suit my fancy. I had a Shadow 750. Let's see. I had two of those. I had an old one that had like 50,000 miles. I had a newer one that had like, I want to say, 5,000-6,000 miles on it when I got it. You don't want somewhere, cat. Get scram. Shoo. I know it. Don't talk back to me. Go. Anyhow, let's see. Before that, I actually started off. Everybody, I know, laugh your asses off. Where my addiction started was a Rebel 250. Oh, and I had a Rebel 300. I just sold that one though. And believe it or not, that was after all these years and all these bikes and all this and that, And I've rode several bikes in between, but weren't mine. Let's see. Yeah, the Rebel 250. I promise you, if you ask any of my family before, I would sneak that bike out. See, it was a bike my father. This is back when I was a kid. It was a bike my father got into like a trade or something. He was planning on selling it, right? Well, what had happened was I was sneaking out in the shed, rolling that thing out when he was at work, whenever we had like the summers off. Yeah, I would ride that thing. I swear I put 2,500 miles on that bike in the front yard and up and down the driveway on gravel. That's why I'm pretty decent off-road and in gravel. A street bike now. Rebel 250 ain't got no power. But that was my first bike that I technically rode all the time. And I remember I put, because the bike only had like 500 miles, and whenever he got rid of it, it had like 3,500 miles on it. And all that shit was off-road. Like, I would sneak up on the street every now and then, but that shit was too risky. I remember one time, and this is what stopped all that. One time, I went around the block, and I thought I was being slick, no tag or nothing now. And thank God this state trooper didn't see it, but he was going the other way. And I was like, shit my britches right there, dude. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to this and that, just freaking out, What did I do to go wrong? Well, anyhow, I brought the bike back, and I never left the driveway after that. And then my father obviously figured it out because, there was a dead strip. Everywhere I rode, there was just a straight dead strip of grass. And he was like, what's all that from? And he found out, and then he was like, he was mad, but he wasn't. It was at that point he was like, well, show me, ride. Yeah, and it all started there. That's where all the addiction started. And now I'm a motorcycle addict, and this is kind of like my AA meeting. So CRF tank is small. It is to a point now. If you get the rally version, it's almost 3 gallons. But I have an aftermarket Acrobus tank that puts it at 3 gallons. So it made it better. The Rebel 500 looks cool. It does. And the reason I got a 300 was, I don't know, really. It's kind of nice having the same motor between two bikes. But also, it's dirt cheap, and I was planning on making a fat tire dual sport out of it. That was the goal. But I never got to do it. Life, don't you know? But the 500's a nice all-around bike. Let's see, he never noticed the miles. Yeah, he noticed the miles after he found out. He never went out because he don't ride bikes, To this day, I've been begging him to ride with me, man. He won't ride. He's just got a fear of them, man. He said ever since he fell off one back when he was younger, man, he ain't been able to ride. I've got him to ride a mini bike though. I have got him to ride a mini bike, but that's it. One day I've tried to send trikes his way. I've tried doing everything, man. He just will not ride. Like, look, it's got 3 wheels, you know. No. I get cold. They got heated jackets. Rev it? No, you can't rev it. You'll send it. You want me to fire it up for you real quick? Here, let me fire it up for you. Let's see. I got the key. Yep. Hey. All right, y'all ready? That's what she sounds like, man. She's a good one, man. Oh, man. I do that shit more than you know. When I'm out in public, yes, I have no shame. Oh, man, at the gas pump, if somebody be looking, they'll be like checking the bike out, and I'll start it. Oh, man, when I pull up at red lights, man, blah, 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 blah. There's even sometimes I'll mimic shifting gears. Yeah. You can have some fun with it. Sounds so good. Yes, it does. And I will say this, though. A cool little thing that you gain when you stop, you can hear everything around you. If you ain't got your earbuds in, or if you ain't, listening to music or something, when you come to a complete stop, you can hear cars coming. Like I'm talking, you hear the air, the noises, gravel, you hear all that. So that's pretty cool. Your motorcycle sounds good as hell. But they can't hear you, yeah, but half the time, you got to remember, half the time, man, loud pipes just don't do it. It don't. And the one thing I've always feared was passing by somebody. Let's say you're going, way quicker than what somebody else is going. If you pass by somebody and it's like an instant, like that, they might be one of them types that freaks out and like swerves, like they're fixing to get into an accident or something, and they end up causing an accident. Yeah, that's always been a fear of mine. That's why I don't zoom past people with loud exhaust. That's kind of a dick move, anyways, but it does happen. And I've had cars come past me, like you wouldn't see them, like driving a semi truck. I'm all the way up in a semi truck, and like absolutely make you almost like jerk the wheel in a way because they just fly by so fast and it's so loud, but you don't hear it until it's done, So loud pipes, and 9 times out of 10, people have music playing. There's a lot of people that roll down the road with those noise canceling earbuds in, and they really work. They really work good, and they'll have music playing the whole night, and they won't hear you. Half the time they're not even paying. They'll hear you, but they're not even paying attention. They're on their phone. Yeah, let's see. I'm serious, man. Yeah, that's true. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. But yeah. No, people don't pay attention no more. The phone was probably used to. It was drunk drivers and tired drivers you had to worry about, and of course inexperienced drivers. Now it's all of those, plus now the majority is phones. And I can't tell you the amount of dumb shit I've seen with people being on their phones crashing into shit. I remember this one still sticks with me to this day. I was coming up up into the mountains over there. This is coming out of Iowa. I want to say heading into Missouri. Well, I was in Missouri, but I was coming out of the flatlands, getting into the bluff area into the mountains, and I was coming up that steep slope, and I passed by a hot shot truck. Now it was the large. It's like a full on semi truck, but it's a straight framer, but it's got the sleeper and all that. This lady, it was a FedEx truck, but this lady, She had something clipped onto her steering wheel. She was eating food. She had a tablet in front of that. Was watching a show while driving down the damn interstate, dude. That shit gets to me, man. It's like, dude, you're not, like, what if you had to swerve? You're dumping everything you got. Let's see, let's living life on the edge, right? Let's see, start the bike. I already did. Go back a little bit. It's got that keyless shit. Here, watch this. Watch this. I'm fixing to start it up real quick. Beep, beep. It's out of gas. Oh yeah, man, you'd be surprised, dude. From a truck driver's perspective, back when I was, because like I said, I drove for about 5, 6-ish years. And I've been around trucks a lot longer before that, you know, but legally about around 5 or 6 years. And what's up, buddy? But you'd be surprised just in that time. I've seen people smoking crack going down the road, man. I've seen people just, you'd be surprised what people do in their cars, you know. But 9 times out of 10, the most you ever see is on their phones. And truck drivers too now. Like, you know, I'm up there with, you know, their level. And you'd be surprised how many people ride around naked too. That's fucking weird. Ripping rides outdoors. Let's see, I've never heard of hike sounds. Hey, start the bike. You hear nothing but crickets. Well. Weird. Somebody driving by slowly, watching. Anyhow, let's see. Our truckers talk about, oh, dude. Yeah, no, they will piss you off, man. So, if you're lucky, you go to a lot that's kind of secured. You don't have to worry about that. But sometimes that freaking E-log, dude, that's probably about the most annoying things, that E-log. Now, me personally, I always run them things all the way to the last minute, you know, because I'm always wanting to get it done as fast as possible, get there as fast as possible, the whole 9. And I would run it down to like 10, 15 minutes. So, you know, you kind of got to, you know, have a plan of where you're going to be. So I kind of knew the areas, you know, where I can, you know, park at. Well, there was this one place I didn't know. And it was kind of like a off the beat, not really off the beaten path. It was off the interstate, but it wasn't like a big truck stop. It was like just a mine pop type, you know, place, I guess. That's where those infestations are at, man. And what I didn't know was the red light in your cab. So all semi-trucks, they have a red light in the cab for filling out paperwork. It's a low light, you know. It's just not super bright. So when you're at night, you can fill out paperwork. What I didn't know was, because I would always leave it on so I could see you getting around inside the cab, and then I'd shut the curtain, you know. Well, red light means you're available. I didn't know that. And all fucking night, dude, I kept getting knocks at the door. And I'm talking cop knocks at the door. These try to be nice. These nasty sons of bitches. I'm a germaphobe, man. When it comes to people, man, I'm a fucking germaphobe. I'll get greasy, nasty, working on shit, dude. That don't bother me, dude. Dirt don't fucking bother me. I'll roll around in the fucking mud. People juices. People juices is what fucks me up, man. Just fuck that. You know, I'm a germaphobe when it comes to that. These nasty bitches were cop knocking on my darn semi-truck all fucking night. And that pisses me off to the fullest, man, because, you know, sleep. You need sleep, you know? And all fucking night, I would just get to sleep. Boom, 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 boom. And that's when I swung out that, you know, door with that, you know, tire knocker. I was going for fucking blood, dude. I was so fucking pissed off, you know. That's when she, you know, of course, you know, they're fucking furious whenever you do that. But they, that's whenever they said, turn your fucking light off. You know, I was like, fuck you mean? Well, evidently that means you're available. So, the more you know. So that light never came back on. I used regular fucking lights at that point. I'll just blind myself at night and fuck it. But yeah, dude, they are nasty, dude. They are nasty. Let's see. Oh boy. boy, STV need that motorcycle. Steve Boy needs that one. Oh, needs one? Oh no, absolutely not. That would be awful. But you feel them, and they're so disgusting, man. So they'll crawl across your catwalks, and I'm talking. You got to check your truck out in the morning to make sure they didn't like unhook your hoses and shit. You know, you feel them crawling over like the catwalks of your trucks, going to the next, man. That's uneasy. I never, after that whole experience, I never stopped at a lot like that. It had to be a Pilot, it had to be a Love's, it had to be something like that, you know. Oh, I never went to another mom and pop place after that. Cause that's nasty. Oh, that's nasty. Yep. Truckers know, right? Hey, can you imagine, dude? So this is what I think about. This is where I'm thinking. You would have to be so fucking desperate to get with one of those. And the reason I'm saying, you gotta think about what truck drivers look like. I've seen some fat fuckers. And I'm telling you, they ain't getting none at home. They ain't getting shit at home. Think about it. That was just in that lady. If you want to call her a lady. That was just in that. And now that's over there with you. Screw that. Hey, we gotta change the conversation. What's up, little man?
I had to give him some medicine.
Uh-oh.
Burning up.
Is he burning up?
Yeah.
Give him some Tylenol and some Motrin. Go ahead and start it.
Oh! Yeah, yeah. Hello. I felt his head.
Oh, he didn't feel like
He's acting like his nose is stopped up. Yeah.
You're funny as hell, man.
No.
Oh, no. Thank you, buddy.
No.
Oh, he's like, I'm going to climb up it. No, he just wants to ride.
No.
I'm like, but I want to climb up it.
I'll be right back. I'm going to do that.
Come here, son. Come here. Oh yeah, dude. He's something, dude. God bless you. Thank you, man. Now I thought you was working on the bottom of your truck. Now you gonna flip it back over? Alrighty. Perfect. It's mint. But yeah, dude. I'm kind of glad I got out of that though. I'm gonna tell you, driving was stressful. It was. It's weren't driving for me because my company that I was at kept sending me everywhere east. I've been to every major city east side of this country, man. I never got to go out west, which sucked. I hear out west. Now, when you start hitting the cities, yeah, that's when it sucks. But at least the drive out west is a lot more peaceful. Cause man, all the shit you gotta deal with over here on the east side, eesh. What is it? You shivering? Oh, you want to go for a ride? What it is? Oh, he's like, yeah, I want to go for a ride. Well, we're not going for a ride, you know? Oh, no. Oh, no. Come here. You're like, fine, I'll just take your bike. Try to give you wisdom, true. Yeah, I guess wisdom is in how many dumbasses are on the road, I guess, yeah. I'm gonna tell you, Dave. A lot of time to think and reflect. Oh, I listened to a lot of podcasts while I was on the road. At least you got radio and all that. You going? Oh, you stuck? Let me help you out. Normally climb up this thing like it ain't nothing. You are burning up. You gotta get some Motrin in you. See, there you go. There's the flashers. Oh, they only come on when you got the switch on. Ain't that cool? He loves flashers. There you go. You hear that helicopter? You hear that helicopter? Look at the flasher. There he is. You see him? Yeah, he's flying low. Whoa. You like them slashers? Boy, you are burning up. Put it on her. Come here, bud. Hoorah. Hoorah. All right, y'all. Little man's burning up. Let's see. And that's how the ignition starts. Alright. Well, I'm gonna get in here with my son real quick. We're gonna start, giving him medicine. Cause he's I gotta check his temperature and all that good stuff. He is warm. Huh. Oh boy, I hope he ain't getting sick. Just sounding like it. Alright. Well, y'all take it easy. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Cause we got some cars to process. But y'all take it easy. I'm gonna go shit, shower, shave, and go sleep, get to work. The usual. Ain't that right, little man? Uh-huh. There you go. You got your freedom back. Yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy.